Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Mark Roberts is somebody that's running for a congressional House seat in Oregon. I never heard of this dude before, this story. That's him right there, and it involves Melania. He said some really nasty things about her on Twitter, and he was replying to somebody else. He had no reason to do this. I don't know why he did. And, initially, Oregon tends to be a fairly liberal state, even though I think there might be parts of it that are conservative and, pro-gun and stuff like that. He's got a picture of some kind of rifle, long rifle on his Twitter page. He's not a Democrat. He's an independent. So, but what he did was, not that that necessarily matters. Charlie Kirk is the founder of Turning Point USA. And I was reading up on Turning Point USA. I don't know a whole bunch about it, but he started that when he was 18 years old, and it's become a huge organization. It's pretty impressive, actually, even though Turning Point USA definitely tends to be a little bit on the establishment side. But in any event, and where's the tweet? This shows it better. And this is the guy's Mark Roberts' response to. He tweeted about the fact that the current First Lady has much less staff than the previous First Lady. And it says, did you know there are 39 fewer staffers dedicated to the First Lady of the United States, FLOTUS, than under Obama. There are only 5 staffers dedicated to Melania Trump versus 44 staffers who served Michelle Obama, which is definitely a good thing. It's very good, I mean, it's a huge savings, and I would say that's a positive thing all around. I like the First Lady quite a bit, and my like for her has grown in her time in office, big time. Very nice. I think I find her really, I like her a lot. So in any event, I don't know why this dude felt the need to say what he said. Did you know the First Lady works by the hour? Almost like she's, prostitute, basically. And he put hashtag Think Dirty, hashtag Hoebag. Excuse me. It's obviously absurd, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, why in goodness God's name would you say such a thing? It's just absolutely outrageous. But he hasn't backed down in the slightest. I mean, I think I got to this tweet from his Twitter page. He's replying to Laura Ingraham, who says, why is Jack, meaning I think Jack Dorsey, the head of Twitter, not taking this tweet down and suspended the account? And he actually replied to that. He posted somebody had, I guess, reported him, and Twitter rejected any, said it was just fine, that we have investigated the reported content and could not identify any violations of the Twitter rules or applicable law. Accordingly, we have not taken any action at this time. Sincerely, Twitter. And he said something snarky. It's that whole First Amendment thing. So here's the dude, and over at the Washington Times, this is being reported quite a bit. I mean, it's pretty outrageous, So at this point, it said the tweet remains active on Mr. Roberts' verified account, which was retweeted 400 times as of Tuesday morning, but was met with a whopping 7,400 responses, a Twitter trend known as getting ratioed for a tweet deemed unpopular. I'd never heard of that, getting ratioed. But actually, by this point, it's up to 12,000 responses, with 589 retweets. So that ratioed is even greater now. So when I went to the dude's, I was just curious because I thought he was a Democrat, and wanting to learn more about him. He is an independent, and he's for the Independent Party of Oregon. It says independent conservative for Congress. This is his Twitter page, and like I was saying, it has a picture of he must be pro-gun. He's got this rifle on here, whatever. I don't know. I mean, and I think he's trying to unseat Kurt Weldon. Weldon is actually Pennsylvania. Walden, who I believe is a Republican. So It's just bizarre. Just bizarre. I mean, I don't know what to say, you know. It's almost like the movie Casino, which I was watching recently. The part where Joe Pesci's out there and he arrives into Vegas and he's a real gangster and they've never experienced a real gangster out there. And the guy who shoots up the bar and he ends up having to put his head in a vice, and ends up popping his eye out. But he says, this guy was just dying to be made an example of. And that's what I kind of think when I see this dude. He's just like, just ask him for it, dude. But, and obviously I'm not. I'm just saying this is kind of what comes to mind. I'm not advocating anything like that. But, and in his Twitter feed, he continued. Anyone who had something to say about him, somebody, I think from, what's his name? The Philly dude. True Pundit. True Pundit had something to say about him, and he, I think, labeled him a Democrat, and he says, um, you know, I don't know what he. That's awesome. Thanks for the press. Good luck with the Dem label, though. Whiff. Hashtag whiff, because he's not a Democrat. He's, like I said, the Independent Party. This is Independent Party of Oregon. And that's the story there. Pretty outrageous, though, for sure. This is the original tweet by Charlie Kirk, and there's his response. Did you know the First Lady works by the hour? Hashtag think dirty. Hashtag Hoebag. Actually, he responded to something else about the president calling him a hosebag. So here the person was, I think, the last person that called Flotus a prostitute got sued and lost. I suppose you might be safe since you don't have much exposure and it's only Twitter. I think the president sued the Daily Mail when they published something about the First Lady. And he says, I invite that hosebag to sue me. And that's the story there, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.